Hi guys, Bomber here, welcome back to the channel. So I thought about this, you can call it an experiment, since the game right now is a bit stale and all, like I thought about, maybe we can talk more about design, what is currently going on in Legends of Runeterra. I plan on doing these design talks about that, but also like what could happen in the future, and so yeah, let's do it. So, as you saw in the title, we are going to see at EKKO how I imagine it going on in Legends of Runeterra. First of all, some disclaimers: I don't play League of Legends, so I don't actually know how EKKO plays out in League of Legends, but I tried to capture it in the most, in the best way possible by reading in the wikis and stuff, how it works, what it does, and so yeah, maybe I got it right. And as you can see here, for example, I don't even know if Temporal Fracture is the actual name of his ultimate, because I saw it in their official site of League of Legends, and it was say Temporal Fracture, but in the wiki instead it was Chronobreak. So yeah, let me know in the comments which one was the correct one, and also let me know in the comments if you like this type of videos and if you would like to see more. So without further ado, we see EKKO, 3 mana, 1/3. So this is a pretty normal stat line for Piltover and Zone. We saw this type of stat line even in stuff like Ezreal or Heimerdinger. So we have this theme going on in Piltover and Zone that usually champions or even units don't really have a good stat line on their own, but they have a great effects. So yeah, this is the first thing to keep in mind when we are designing a Piltover and Zone card. Then we have round start, create a fleeting Chrono Disc in hand. And so here we have something that basically synergizes with all the champions in Piltover and Zone, and so something that is pretty natural for Piltover and Zone. We see a value generation tool, so yeah, that's something, the value is something that Piltover and Zone is great at, a round start effect. We have a create effect, so this is good with Victor. It creates a fleeting card, so this could work with this card, and it creates a spell, which is Chrono Disc. So yeah, this synergizes, and also like we will see later on what actually Chrono Disc does. This synergizes pretty well with Heimerdinger and Ezreal. Then we have the level up condition, which is you have summoned but not played 7+ units. When a level up, create a Temporal Fracture in hand or Chronobreak. I don't know which one was the correct one. And so yeah, I think that this is what we are actually going to get for EKKO, because we have it hinted from the first expansion. If you remember the 1 mana card, the spell, I can't remember the name, the Chrono Shift, maybe. And so yeah, we have this thing of, transforming units. You play something, but you summon actually something else. And so yeah, guys, I think that that's pretty much what we're going to get. And then you can see that there is already some kind of synergy in Piltover and Zone and other stuff for this type of effect, but we are going to see also at some support cards that they also made that could make this archetype really work. But also on top of that, you can summon pretty much everything with other units. For example, we will see that it synergizes with Bilgewater, for example, with powder kegs. You summon them but not play them, so this counts for EKKO. So maybe an EKKO has really into Bilgewater. That could work with powder kegs, or you could go for Azir or Irelia. They are pretty good at summoning units, as we saw recently, and so yeah, that could make sense. EKKO is in the same expansion of those two champions, so it makes sense that it synergizes well with those as well, as Azir and Irelia synergize so well with each other. So but yeah, jokes aside, and then we have the most interesting part, in my opinion, about EKKO, which is when I level up, create a Temporal Fracture in hand, and then we're going to see, or Chronobreak again, and then we're going to see what this is. So first of all, let's take a look at the second level up form. He basically just gets Elusive and Nexus Strike or Round Start to create a Chrono Disc in hand, and +1/+1 of course. So I wanted to give him also Elusive because I saw that he shits through time, shits through places all over the place, in it's crazy. EKKO, so you kind of had to have some kind of keyword that capture this elusive feeling. And what other elusive, what other keyword are rather than elusive to be good at representing his elusiveness? Okay, that's pretty obvious. I could have also gone for Quick Attack, but we see in the game that mostly Quick Attack is something. For example, it has Lucian as Quick Attack because he's ranged, so that's why he strikes before than his opponent. Also Twisted Fate and some other stuff. Basically all the cards that are ranged have Quick Attack, if you see that. And so yeah, didn't really make sense because for what I saw, EKKO is not a ranged character, it is a melee character. So it didn't make sense to have quick attack, and also we're going to see that Chrono Disc actually gives something that it is even better than quick attack, but in a different way. We're going to see it right now. So first of all, Chrono Disc. 3 mana, fast speed spell, deal 1 damage to an enemy unit and give it slow this round. Then we're going to see what slow is. It's a new keyword, it is not the slow speed spell. And I didn't want to make a custom, I didn't want to make a custom icon for that, but it is different from what you know about slow. And at the end of combat, if the target is dead or gone, cast me again on the weakest enemy. So I wanted to capture with this effect 2 things. The first of all is the returning back of the Chrono Disc that happens in League of Legends at a condition, but it returns back and deals damage on the way back. That's what I wanted to capture by casting it again. I know that it is the same activation on League of Legends, but for the sake of Legends of Runeterra, I wanted to go that way. And the weakest enemy is also a bit kind of strange, but I saw that the EKKO deals more damage to units or champions that have a low amount of health. So I could have gone for a damaged enemy, but then again, if you have, for example, 2 units, enemy units that are damaged, then which one do I choose? Because this is an autocast, you don't target it yourself, even though it is targeted, and we're going to see that this is important, you're not targeting it yourself. And so yeah, like weakest, most of the times, the one unit that has the lowest attack value has also the lowest amount of health. It is not all the, not always the case, but I wanted to capture this feeling of, dealing more damage, and actually, in this case, dealing damage at all to the weakest enemies. And so yeah, now what slow is, first of all, before talking about Chrono Disc, slow is basically strikes after his attacker or blocker. So if it is on a unit, it is basically as the reverse of quick attack, but it is worse, I could say. Like, it is worse if you have slow, it is worse than how good it would be if that unit had quick attack instead. Because while quick attack only works when you are attacking, but it doesn't do anything, it doesn't strikes before, even when you are blocking with that unit. Instead, slow happens all the time. Like, even if you attack or block, that's the same, it strikes always after the other unit. And so yeah, it is basically a reverse the quick attack, but a bit better. And so as you can see, Chrono Disc is suddenly a very good combat trick. For example, maybe they have a 3-4 and you're attacking with a 3-3, so that would be dead, your unit would be dead, and they're value trading, but suddenly you play Chrono Disc, so it goes back to 3-3, and it strikes after your unit, and so like it kills the enemy unit before it get a chance to strike back, like quick attack would work. And so yeah, suddenly you reverse a value trade from a value trade of your own for 3 mana. That one damage window is a bit narrow, and also like just the slow part for 3 mana is a bit expensive in my opinion. But if you happen to make it happen, that unit dies, or maybe like if you really want the second trigger for Chrono Disc, you could kill it yourself with other stuff, like maybe a Mystic Shot. Piltover Zone is great at the removing units, and so yeah, if you really want that second activation at the end of combat, and again, like this fact that it keeps track of that unit during combat, if it is not anymore in the combat at the end of the turn, at the end of the combat, so it keeps track of this time flow. Again, pretty much works well with EKKO, and this time shifting time, that is a recurrent theme with EKKO, which as it should be. And so yeah, like if you get the second activation, this works pretty well with Hammerdinger, because you're getting double the turrets for the same spell, because this is still casted, and also double the activation both for Ezreal level up condition, because as I said, it is targeted not on your wheel or on your own wheel, but it is targeted nonetheless. So like yeah, you're getting double the activation on the level up of Ezreal, and of course you're playing casting 2 spells on units most of the time. So that is additional burn damage for Ezreal if he's leveled up later on. So again, you can see that EKKO synergizes well with all those champions. And yeah, so that's basically it for Chrono Disc. Then moving on, we're going to Chronobreak. That's insane in my opinion. 13 mana, slow speed spell, or Temporal Fracture, whatever it is called. Return back in time to when EKKO leveled up. also deal 5 damage to all enemies and the enemy Nexus. So this is basically what Chronobreak is in League of Legends. EKKO returns back in time and deals damage, a massive damage, as I read, to all the enemy stuff in that range. And guys, basically what this means, because I know that it is not really descriptive, but it is pretty much when you see it happen, you make, oh, okay, that makes sense. And so yeah, basically you return back in time. The board state, the health of the Nexus, the hand state, the deck state, and also how much mana you add in that exact moment of when EKKO leveled up. It gets saved into the card of Chronobreak, and when you play it, you return back to that moment. And that's insane, guys. In my opinion, this is a very skill-based card. Like, EKKO suddenly becomes a very skill-based card. Because not only you have to keep track of when actually EKKO is leveling up, and so you want to make that happen in a favorable moment. Because then if you go to play Chronobreak later on, you know that you're going to have an head start when you play Chronobreak. Or, even if you are in a bad spot, still Chronobreak could make, solve that board state. Because with the 5 AoE damage, basically, you know that you will return back in a moment in time when you will have your board state, which maybe, since you are behind, it is not so great, but you know that you are going to nuke your opponent board. Also, maybe you had 3 mana spell banked, you had full mana at that moment, maybe, I don't know, turn 5, so you have 8 mana, and your opponent just suddenly spent all this mana. So when you play Chronobreak, it is true that you go back to 0 mana, but since the game turned back in time, you know that if at that moment your opponent didn't have mana, then they are going to basically not have mana anymore, and you're going to the mana that you had in that moment. So that's crazy, guys. I know it would be kind of hard. Not really for you, because you could always play Chronobreak and then with the icon, the Oracle Eye, you could see what happens, but for your opponent to remember all that stuff. So I know that from a design perspective, maybe there's some problems, but I think that it could be solved. Like how cool this card is, can't be really, how can I say it, be like controlled by the limits of what could actually be user-friendly. And maybe there could be some other ways to make that more visual, both for you and for your opponent as well. But so yeah, guys, I think that that is a very crazy effect, so I went wild with this. And now we're going to take a look at 2 other units, I mean, like 1 spell and 1 unit, 2 support cards for EKKO, basically. And the first one is Time Distortion. 3 mana fast speed spell, remove an ally from combat and summon an ally that costs 2 or less from hand in its place. So first of all, this is a pretty great combat trick. Like if you really want to maybe save one of your precious allies from, an unfavorable trade or a spell. Maybe, I don't know, you attacked with something, they're going Vengeance through it, and then you go for Time Distortion. So this could basically be a deny into Piltover Zone, but very, very strange. And also, we don't really have remove an ally. Like, Piltover Zone is not really good at combat tricks for what I saw. Like, their only stuff is basically giving quick attack and the removal spells. That's it. So yeah, that doesn't really fit well with Piltover Zone, but, EKKO is that guy with the time stuff, time abilities, so like it could make sense still to have some kind of effect like this, disrupting the time flow. It is in the Piltover Zone cores, we could say. And so yeah, as for how to use effectively, in the most effective way this card, if you are going into the Bilge Water package that I said, we have Krusty Codger and Boxtabus, for example. So you could cheat them out, since you already want to summon but not play stuff. This could be an even greater incentive to, actually having those cards in your hand and deck. And so that when you play Time Distortion, not only you're getting ahead on the EKKO leveling up requirement, but also you're getting an advantage immediately. So yeah, I think that Time Distortion is a pretty great tool for protecting. Like, overall, this card is generally good, but it has some cool applications that sometimes could happen. Or maybe, like, since I say that this could also work in Irelia, I could see you play this card and you go for Eye of the Dragon, for example. So maybe he survives the Eye of the Dragon, but even if it doesn't, you're still getting the attune, for example. So all those effects that work well, there are not many in 2 mana or less units, but all all those effects on summon or, you know, whatever, could be good with Time Distortion as well. But then the last card, which is Time Traveler. 2 mana, 1/1, when I'm summoned but not played, grant me +1/+0 and a random keyword. So again, like for example, if you go in Time Distortion with these, you get a 2/1 for free, basically. Not really, because you're spending 3 mana, but you're getting a 2/1 with a random keyword, maybe Lifesteal, so, you know, additional health, or maybe Tough, so maybe he survives the attack of a 1/1 or whatever. But then we see the second clause, which is if I'm discarded, summon me instead. And that's crazy because, you know, we see already this stuff that in Piltover Zone, you can already summon stuff without playing it. Both from, you know, maybe used Cask Salesman, for example, that would be great to summoning 2 units without actually playing them, but also from discard, because Flame Chompers and Georigs, those cards work well with, you know, you discard them and you summon them instead, so that works well with EKKO. And since we have Jinx as well in Piltover Zone, I said, whatever, like, let's add a card which ties them together, and maybe it makes sense to have Jinx and EKKO discard aggro, maybe. So yeah, that's a bit more pushing it, but yeah, I wanted both to give a card that could fit in discard aggro as it is right now, because it is basically a free 1-drop, as Flame Chompers could be. Maybe a bit overtuned. Yeah, I have to say that, maybe a bit overtuned, because you're getting Georigs, for, you know, a 1/1, this instead is a 2/1 with an upside, but it is also true that Georig has a lower, actually a higher floor, meaning that 1 mana for a 1/1 at burst speed, so that's a blocker or an attacker at burst speed, it's better than a 2 mana 1/1. So like if you get a Time Traveler and you don't have any ways to actually discard it, it is basically a dead card in your hand. So it is still balanced, in my opinion, in a discard aggro, but in an EKKO, if you really need a 2 mana drop, maybe you are not into Bilgewater, you're not into Ionia, you don't really know what to fit in that 2 mana slot that you want, for example, for your Time Distortion or whatever, or maybe this was just 2 ideas to see that how the archetype could be supported with more cards that summon more stuff from your hand without actually playing them, and more units that benefit from being summoned but not played. You could make a lot of these cards. I just wanted to make 2 to let you see what this set could look like for EKKO. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a full set for EKKO. I will probably also release it on Reddit, so I will also see what is the acceptance of it into Reddit as well. But so yeah, guys, that's it for this EKKO, you know, custom card kind of thing. Let me know in the comments if you liked it, what you liked about the design, what you didn't like, if it is broken, if it is underpowered, whatever. Like this is a design talk. I really enjoy talking about this stuff, this kind of stuff. And so yeah, guys, if you liked the video, as always, please remember to subscribe, to leave a like, a comment. If you want to check out in the description, there's also some links for my social medias, like Instagram, Patreon. If you want to support me, that would be really appreciated. And so yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful. And as always, see ya.